Okay, we're here. We've made it. It is the final episode of Pack or Pass, where I look at my shelves and I wonder, is that something I want to pack and take to Kent with me, or am I passing it on to the next reader? And we are doing what I think will be the most difficult for me, which is my YA fantasy / supernatural, which is a whole thing, has a whole life of its own, because so many of these books I have duplicates of, but I am hoping to read and or annotate. Also, please excuse the sunburn. She's very red. Anyway, so many of these I have emotional attachment to. Like, so many of these. But the TBR needs room. And needs room to grow, because although I haven't been picking up YA fantasy for a while, when I do, I adore it and it lives with me forever. So we're just going to bear that in mind. Okay. An automatic keep, an automatic pack is The Deathless Girls by Kira Millward Hargraves. This is a Dracula retelling, and technically could have gone on my Gothic if it weren't for the fact that it's more of a supernatural, and it's definitely tailored for the YA. You feel like you're in Romania, you feel like you're being chased by monsters. It is such an entry-level Gothic, and I love it, and the fantasy magic life in this is top tier. So she's packed, she's coming with us, she's coming home with us. Empress of All Seasons, I really, really enjoyed, and it has inspired one of the D&D campaigns that I am currently running. Do I think I will ever reread it? It's a maybe. It's a maybe. I'd love to keep it on my shelf because I would like to keep recommending it, but it's not really in print anymore, so getting hold of it is quite tricky, so recommending it, therefore, is quite tricky. And so it really is just dependent on whether I think I will reread it again. And I would pick it over other books. So it's a maybe. I'm going to unhaul all of my Maria V. Schneider books because you will have seen in my hardbacks, I have the hardbacks of the Poison Study trilogy, and I have now ordered the second 3 to go in that series. What I don't have is book 1 of the series in paperback because I lent it to a friend and she then passed it on to another friend. And I love her for recommending books that I loved and recommended to her onto people. I do wish she'd asked, because I don't know this person and I don't think I'm ever getting it back. Like, I've been burnt before. And I think, fundamentally, I can read my hardbacks. They're beautiful, but I will be gentle with them, or I will do them as an audiobook alongside them. I don't need both. And therefore, I'm going to unhaul this entire stack, which does give me a lot more wiggle room. Like, a lot more wiggle room. So, like, that's just already so much more space. So I'm going to pack my Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Really, really love this, and I do feel like this is the sort of book that I would like to reread as part of a read-along. I know people have done Daughter of Smoke and Bone read-alongs before, but I feel like I've always missed them. I've always timed out at the wrong time to read them, but I do want to reread these, so I'm keeping them. They are a kind of Romeo and Juliet fantasy take, and I'm just so very, very here for it. Equally, I've only just got my hands again on the Whirling trilogy, so I'm going to be keeping these because I got that far through last time, and I do need to just commit to it and actually just sit down and read it, because I know I will finish I could finish the whole thing in a weekend if I really put my mind to it, but it's finding the time. I do really like these books though, so they're packed. You will also have seen in one of my hardback videos that I have the hardback editions of the Cruel Prince trilogy. Now, I would be very hypocritical to keep these when I've just unhauled Poison Study, but the way I devoured these books in a day, like, these are the few books that I know I can read in a day, that I'm almost reluctant to. I kind of want to annotate them, which may seem really silly because they are such gentle entry-level YA fantasies, but I really love Holly Black's take on the Fae, and the way the Fae work in her worlds are really, really interesting. But but do I want them to take up space from a TBR? So they're a maybe. They're a maybe. I'd love to keep them. But they're a maybe. I have Mia and the Undead. Now, I've read Mia and the Undead and I've read Mia and the Slayers, but I haven't read the third one yet, Mia and the Cult. So they are staying. As you can see, I tabbed the first one because that was part of a book club. I didn't tab the second one, but I did really enjoy it. So I need to reread. And I am tempted to reread the second one again before rereading the third one, just so I can remind myself what happened. And then the last one is a Macbeth retelling, As I Descended, by Robin Talley. And I really enjoyed that one too. So I feel like because I've got scope, this doesn't really need to be a maybe. Because I do recommend this quite a lot when I talk about entry-level Gothic books. So she can stay. She can stay. Right, let's look at the TBR, because it looks like the TBR should be able to just move straight onto this space with only a few books that I've read before that I plan on rereading. So, the first ones are The Babysitter's Coven and For Better or Cursed. Babysitter's Coven was gifted to me by Olivia a couple of birthdays ago, and then For Better or Cursed was unhauled to me from Becca Fowle. Now, I had said that I was going to stop taking on sequels to books that I hadn't read yet. But I didn't, and here we are. And the other duology that I did that with, from Becca specifically, is I have These Witches Don't Burn, which was another one that was gifted to me. I can't remember who it was gifted to me by, and I haven't got the slip in there anymore. I normally keep the slip so that I can double check who's gifted me what. But again, from Becca, I took the sequel. So I haven't been picking up witchy books recently, but I do enjoy witchy books. I come back to witchy books more often than I come back to vampire books. So I feel like they're an easy win to have on my shelf. And then I bought these at the same time. So I have Wranglestone and Timberdark, which are a zombie YA, which I thought was middle grade because they're by Little Tiger, but apparently they are YA. And again, they're ones that I've TBR'd these multiple times and not picked them up. I genuinely think these covers are the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my life, and I just need to read them. So they are packed. I'm hoping I have enough space. I'm hoping I have enough space, because next on the TBR is Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. I've said before that I've read a couple of books by this author and I really, really enjoy them, so I'm really looking forward to getting to that one. One that I'm even maybe passing on is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, for no other reason than, as much as it's a sapphic romance, it's vampires again, and I just don't know if I care enough about vampires. I just don't know if I care enough. So she's a maybe. At this point, I would rather reread the entire trilogy of Cruel Prince in a weekend than pick up The Coldest Touch. But then equally, I've not read it before, so I might really like it, and maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I feel like I would rather have Cruel Prince on my shelf, which is a whole thing. I've got Master of One, which again is another take on Fae that I'm quite looking forward to. This is another LGBT romance as well, so I feel like this is going to be an adventure and romance and a really good time. But she's chunky. She is chunky. I keep not picking her up just because I'm intimidated by the size of that book more than anything else. Then I have Gifted for Me by Kelly from the Velvet Library, Where Dreams Descend, which I think is a kind of like Victorian Gothic fantasy with a circus. So, okay. She can stay. She sounds interesting. I have Now Conjurers, which is another witchy one, but it feels like it's going to be more kind of like pansexual, asexual rep. It's Electric Monkey. They do quite good when it comes to like mysteries and like thriller type vibes. And I feel like I just love the neon green. Like, I bought this because of the neon green. It's staying because of the neon green. I have The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. This is an automatic stay because I loved Cemetery Boys. I didn't love the Peter Pan retelling, but this is a Mexican mythology take on fantasy trials, and the sequel I think is already out, so I'm going to need to get to that soon if I want to get the sequel as well. Speaking of sequels, we have We Hunt the Flame, which I've been told I will adore, and again, cannot remember who gifted this to me, but thank you whoever it was. I know that I'm going to really enjoy this. There is something about this vibe that I know I'm going to enjoy, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, but she's packed. She's coming with us. The gap is now considerably smaller. I could probably fit the Cruel Prince trilogy and one more book. But the book that I have left on my TBR is The Binding Spell by Marissa Lanton, which is a Chicken House one. And I don't know. When I took it on, I was really intrigued by it. The longer I've had it on my shelves, and it's a relatively recent gifting, the less I care about it. But do I care about it more than these? I definitely care about it more than I care about The Coldest Touch. So The Coldest Touch is a pass. It's already been put behind 2 other books. We're passing on Coldest Touch. I would rather read something new than reread something old if it was The Empress of All Seasons. And if that meant that I could fit these 3 books back on my shelf, I would be inclined to. So I'm going to keep The Binding. And if I can fit these 3, great, I will keep them. If I cannot, I will keep The Empress of All Seasons. And I'm so nervous about this because it's so stupid that I really want to keep these. And they fit beautifully. That's it. We're done. I'm going to pass on The Empress of All Seasons, even though I love this book. And there is always a worry that I will pick something up from my TBR and like it less than I liked this. And then I will have unhauled this for no reason. I'm still umming and ahhing this. It fits perfectly and I'm umming and ahhing this. Because it is just a little wider than The Binding Spell. But I know I like it. This is the hard bit, is like letting it go. And what I really liked about this is she is in a love triangle, but the ending is not your stereotypical ending. It's very much she stands on her own and she makes choices that suit her and actually make sense for her as well. Not unless I unhaul something else. Which, at this point, I've been umming and ahhing about. I feel like I should, just to kind of, like, let you go. And just say that this series is done. Say that it's finished. In my graphic novel video, I TBR'd a book. Just so that I would have space. And I'm tempted to TBR The Binding Spell. Just so that I can make space for The Empress of All Seasons. And at least then I would know it was good enough to stay on my shelves or not, versus The Empress of All Seasons. And it's so silly. It's such an arbitrary workaround. But I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm TBRing, apropos of nothing, except spite. I am TBRing The Binding Spell. So that I can fit Amiko Jean back on my shelf. Now we're done. Well, there you have it. She was sneaky, but she did it. I can't believe Pack and Pass is officially over. What am I going to do with my time now? I mean, pack the rest of my stuff, obviously. If you want to leave a little emoji to let me know, feel free to leave a moth emoji because, wow, she made it at the end, didn't she? Treat yourself to something from Waypoint Books because it supports me and my content. Check out the links down below because I have a Patreon now. And most importantly, have a nice day.